Hello, and welcome to the last in our sequence or series of screencasts about APA format for your journal article report. So the focus of this particular session is going to be on how to cite the article that you read in your paper. So when you are using citations, we're going to talk about in-text citation for your paraphrasing and summarizing, as well as if you choose to use one short quotation. Again, short would be less than 40 words, which again, only one is allowed for your paper. If you are choosing, again, it's not required, but if you would choose to do a short quotation, these are the format that you would use. These are now from the 7th edition. We've got some changes in the 7th from the 6th, and so I'm going to try to just take a minute and go over these so that you can do your citations perfectly in your paper. So here's the deal, just sort of as a preface. Just like movies give credit to their actors and to their producer, director, etc., we need to also give credit to our source. So again, for our journal article report, you are reading one article. You will be citing the author or authors of that article throughout your paper. When you are paraphrasing and summarizing, as well as when you are doing direct quotations. The rule that we'll be using is at least cite your source once per paragraph. So at least once in each of your paragraphs of summarizing, paraphrasing, not a reaction, you need to cite your source. In your introductory paragraph, if you talk about any of the topic, any of the results or the topic from your article, you need to cite that source in that introductory paragraph as well as subsequent paragraphs, except for your reaction. Your reaction section is your own opinions and thoughts about the article or the topic, and you won't cite a source there because that's going to be your own information. Okay, so let's go to a little bit further. I'm going to arrow down on this page here. Remember that you are only citing one article, and that article, or referring to one article, and that is the article that will be on your reference page. You don't cite articles that you haven't read or reference to them. So you have to make sure. That's why it was important to pick a really good article for this assignment so that you've got just that one citation. So you'll see some different examples here as we go through, but just keep that in mind that the article that you read is going to cite other sources, but you haven't read those sources. So you have only read the one source. So if you've got questions about that, please let me know. All right, let's start in with the format. And here's just our general summarizing and paraphrasing, which we call in-text citation. As you're going through your paragraph, you can do it one of two ways. According to Jones, 2018, and again, notice the format, Jones, and then the year in parentheses. And you always have an author and a year included in your format or your in-text citation for this paper. If you choose not to say according to, or in your sentence, you would need to then at the end of the sentence put your citation. Here in this case, parentheses, Jones, comma, 2018, end parentheses, and then the period. So any of your punctuation goes after your reference. So I'll give you some more examples here in a minute. If you're going to do a quotation, and again, as I said, you're allowed one short quotation, just one, in your paper. It has to be less than 40 words, and this would be the format that you would use. So again, I'm using this according to Jones. Again, one author, Jones 2018, comma, here's your start of your direct quote, here's the end of your direct quote, and then you have to include the page number. Any direct quote that you use always has to have the page number in there. So here's another format that you can do. Jones 2018 found. Again, here is the start of the direct quote. Here is the end of the direct quote, and you have to include the page number. So just there's a couple different ways that you can make use of, again, sort of grammatically or style wise. There's different ways you can utilize it, but just making sure it's in there is going to be the thing that I'm looking for. Here again is another way of doing it. You can put, again, if you're not going to reference the particular study, again here at the end. This would be kind of continuing this way up here at the end of the sentence, right? That kind of format. If you choose to do it that way with a direct quote, you can, but again, you put Jones, comma, 2018, comma, and then here's your page period, and then the end of your parentheses with the punctuation. So you've got some different choices about how you want to, or how you can utilize in-text citation. And again, I am going to require for this particular assignment, and again, different instructors have different requirements. For this paper, I would like you to cite your one reference at least once per paragraph. You don't need any more of that, but any more than that, but you need a minimum of once, or it's plagiarism because you haven't cited your source. All right, so this example sort of talks about one author. But what if you've got more than one author? So here I've got more information on the second page of that file that I posted on the website. We've got some updates from our 7th edition, so I wanted to make sure that I got those out to you. So here, if we've got, obviously we know how to use one author. We showed you that with the Jones reference. But what if my article has two authors? If my article has two authors, then I have to use both of the last names every time. So in this case, Wagner and Petty 2015, you would use the AND every single time. In each paragraph, you'd cite it that way. If you're doing it in the parenthetical, you would do Wagner and use the ampersand, Petty, comma, and the year, end parenthesis. Again, you would have a period after that if that is at the end of your sentence. Most of us will probably have articles that have 3 or more authors. And this is something kind of new, so I wanted to make sure I highlighted this. That if you have 3 or more authors, you can use this et al, which is and others. So ETAL period in every citation, even the first citation, which is different than our previous edition. So again, at the end of the sentence or in parentheses, again, this particular author, Kernis et al, period, comma, and the year, end parentheses. And then if you choose to do it within the sentence, Kernis et al, period, 2017, suggest, okay? And if it's et al, that means and others, you would be saying Kernis and others suggest. So again, you're going to think of that as being plural. So that kind of gives you the rest of your types of articles. This is going to be the format, and you can now use, they've simplified it now. You can use the et al for 3 or more authors throughout the whole paper. So go ahead and give that a try for the paper that you're working on, your draft. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask a specific question in the draft Dropbox. And thank you for taking the time to go through this with me. And I look forward to reading your paper. All right, let me know if you have questions. Thanks so much.